built a project using Gatsby in the front end and Strapi in the back end along with a few tools. Hello, my name is Nicolas Guillen. I am a full stack developer with more than 3 years of experience, and I will try to show you this project as fast as I can. So, first of all, what does the project do? It's just a simple car dealership. I didn't get very fancy with the UI because it's just a demo project to show some skill. But basically, it's for a dealership who wants to display some cars, but the cool feature about it is that we can see the visits to the mechanic that each car has. And so here's the app, and we can just see a quick description, a button to open my link tree, or find the front end repo. It's public, so you can go visit it. And now here we have the cars. You will see that there's a list, there's an input with filters. Here it tells me if there are filters active, and then when it reaches the end of list, it'll show here if there are no results. If I say, for example, I don't know, Suzuki, and there's no results, so it'll just say that. And if I come here to the filters and I say that I want it to be older than 2022 and I want the max price to be $2,000, and then we will see that here in the results there's the samurai, and we can see the active filters, and it tells me when it reaches the end of list. Now if I put a value that's not valid, for example 1, it will show me the client-side validations that I did. In this case, the minimum price has to be higher than $1,000, but it's just an example, and each input has its own validations. So for example, here if I say 1, it says the year has to be between the 80s and 2024. So I'm going to come here and clear the filters. I close, and I can see all the results again. Now next, when we visit a car, they have their own page. It was very quick, but you can see the loading state too. It's responsive also, and well, here it'll show me all the data, but then down here it'll tell me the visits to the mechanic. So the cool thing is I can see what they did. So for example, it was an oil change by this mechanic, which is AutoPits, and it tells me the date, and if it was a maintenance or a fix, depending on which one it is, it'll show either green or yellow. And now if there's no visits, then it'll just display here no visits, and that's it. You can filter, you can display them, you can navigate using Gatsby, just a link component. And now for the backend, without getting into too much detail, I just have three. Well, the entities that I'm using are car, mechanic, and visit. I updated the roles so that they would be public. I'm not using API tokens or anything like that. But just for this demo project, I created the car, which has number inputs, text inputs, media, and it has one relation, that's visit, which I will get to in a minute. Then I have another entity that's mechanic, so they just have a name and they are also related to visits. And then there's visit to the mechanic, which has a title, purpose, date, and then the relationship to car and mechanic. So every visit has to have a car that they worked on and a mechanic that operated, like the fix or maintenance or whatever. And so that's it, pretty simple. And now about the tech that I used, I decided to go with Gatsby in the front end again, just because I've been trying to focus in React. I worked with React Plain and Next.js, but I hadn't done Gatsby yet, and so I just gave it a try. I used Strapi, which I actually used 3 years ago, and I wanted to give it another try. It's pretty, like, I'm actually pretty impressed with all the population of fields that you can do, nested fields, selecting fields, like all that was super impressive. And I'm definitely gonna keep using it for my own projects. And I really liked the REST API. I didn't get into the GraphQL, but the REST API worked just fine, and I really like to refeature. I like the pagination of it. It was great. Then for state management, I'm using Easy Peasy, which is a wrapper for Redux, and the name says it, it's super easy to use. I love it. There is no boilerplate code. It's amazing. And I'm using it for the filters because every time a filter changes, it automatically um, fetches the data again. Now I'm using a debounce function so that every time an input changes, it doesn't do like hundreds of requests. It has to wait up to a second of no data coming in so that it performs the request again. Now the reason why I'm not using a store management for the listing of cars itself is because I'm using another tool called UseSWR, so it helps me fetch my data. But the cool feature about it is that depending on the URL or the parameters that you send it, it will cache the response. So it really wasn't necessary to like store the results on uh, my state, at least not with Easy Peasy, because this library would be in charge of just caching all the response, so it didn't cause any unnecessary requests to my backend. So yeah, that's why I use SWR. It's pretty simple to do to use, and yeah, I love it. So yeah, there's my project. The reason why I'm showing it here in the local host and not on production is because I knew I could deploy the front end like for free in multiple platforms. I actually love using Vercel, and it's great. It gets the job done. But for the backend, which is Strapi, I actually didn't want to pay for a server. That's like the whole reason for it. So you can like visit the repos and run it on your local if you want for some reason. But yeah, that's pretty much the only reason why I didn't deploy it. So yeah, please just uh, connect with me if you want to. You can visit the repos and just stay updated. I will try to post more about other projects that I have built. I have built projects with React, with sockets, with Vue.js, Else.js, all of those. I've used Prisma, OutZero, like a lot of tools that I really like. And yeah, I just haven't had the chance to record videos and show them. So if you want to get to know more, just stay updated in the channel. And yeah, thank you so much for watching.